She hadn't meant to fall asleep there. Not on that cold wooden bench at the end of track 7. Not with her backpack tucked under her feet and her coat wrapped around her like a second skin. But exhaustion has a way of creeping in when no one's waiting for you, and nowhere feels like home. Her name was Lacey, just 22, and that night she was invisible to everyone. Everyone except one elderly woman who changed everything. The train station in downtown Baltimore was never silent. Even past midnight, the speakers crackled with half-heard announcements, the floor echoed with rolling suitcases, and vending machines hummed like stubborn background noise. But for Lacey, that station had become something else entirely, a kind of purgatory between nowhere and not yet. 2 weeks earlier, her world collapsed. She'd been staying with her aunt, who had taken her in after her mom passed away unexpectedly a year ago. At first, it worked. Lacey helped around the house, took night shifts at a small diner, and tried to make herself invisible like she didn't take up space. But then the diner cut hours, and then her aunt's tone changed. "You need to grow up, Lacey. You can't just stay here forever. You're not a child." She'd said it while tossing Lacey's folded clothes onto the couch, not even looking her in the eye. No argument, no warning, just out. So Lacey packed her thrift store backpack, used the last of her wages for a bus ticket up north, and clung to the hope that maybe somewhere someone might give her a break. But breaks didn't come. She applied at every fast food place and retail store in a 10-block radius. Without a local address, no phone, and no references, she might as well have been invisible. A few shelters turned her away. The rest were full. One staffer gently offered her a blanket and told her to try again at sunrise, so she started sleeping wherever she could. A library stairwell, a back booth at the 24-hour diner until a manager kicked her out, and finally, the train station. Each night she'd sit and pretend she was waiting for someone, a cousin, a friend, a delayed train, anything to avoid the pitying looks of strangers. But no one looked at her, not really. They looked through her, like she was furniture or fog. That night was worse than most. The storm had come fast, a wall of freezing sleet and wind that made even indoor air feel damp and raw. Her socks were soaked, her hands shaking. The vending machine took her last $2 and jammed. No refund, no snack. She wrapped her coat tighter, leaned against the wall, and let her eyes close just for a moment. She didn't hear the footsteps at first. Miss, you can't sleep here." Lacey blinked awake, her body aching. A tall security guard in a blue jacket stood over her, holding a flashlight. "Please," she whispered, voice hoarse. "Just 5 more minutes. I'm not bothering anyone." "No exceptions. Station policy. You've got to move along." She sat up slowly, brushing crumbs from her lap. Her backpack strap had left an imprint on her arm. She felt so small. And then a voice interrupted. "Excuse me, she's with me." Lacey turned her head sharply. An elderly woman, maybe in her 70s, stood just a few feet away. She wore a heavy wool coat, brown leather gloves, and a knit scarf tucked neatly under her chin. Her silver hair was pinned back in a soft bun. She held a cane in one hand and a reusable shopping bag in the other. "She's my granddaughter," the woman said to the guard, calm but firm. "We got separated earlier. Thank you for finding her." The guard hesitated, looked between them, then gave a skeptical nod and walked away. Lacey stared at the woman, speechless. The woman turned to her gently. "You looked cold, dear. Come sit with me." She didn't wait for an answer, just walked toward a bench near the heaters and sat down. Slowly, Lacey followed. The woman opened her bag and pulled out a paper-wrapped sandwich and a small thermos. "I don't usually carry two," she said with a soft smile, "but tonight, I felt like I should." Lacey's hands shook as she unwrapped the sandwich. It was still warm. Turkey and cheese, her first real meal in almost 24 hours. "I don't understand," she whispered. "Why did you help me?" The woman's eyes didn't flinch. "Because someone once helped me, a long time ago when I thought I was alone." If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to The Kind Story, where kindness always finds a way. They sat together in silence for a while. The storm outside had quieted to a drizzle, tapping softly against the glass doors. The few travelers left in the station kept their distance. No one paid them much attention. "I'm Mabel," the woman said eventually. "I come here every Friday night. My son works late at the hospital nearby. Sometimes I bring him dinner. Sometimes he's too tired to talk, so I just sit and read." Lacey smiled faintly, sipping the tea from the thermos. It tasted like cinnamon. "I'm Lacey," she said. I don't have anywhere to go." Mabel nodded. "I figured. You've got that look not of someone dangerous, but of someone tired of pretending." Lacey blinked, tears welling up despite herself. She turned her face away, but Mabel touched her hand gently. "I've lived long enough to know the signs, and I've lived long enough to know this world isn't kind to young women who fall through the cracks." They talked for another hour about life, about hope, about what it means to feel forgotten. Have you ever felt forgotten by everyone until one person looked at you with kindness? Mabel reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a folded note. "I wrote this address down just in case. I live 4 blocks from here. My building has a spare room. I don't have much, but it's warm, and there's always tea. You can stay as long as you like. Just help me water the plants and keep me company." Lacey's lips parted. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "You don't even know me." Mabel chuckled. "I don't need to. I know what kindness can do, and I believe in giving it freely." That night, Lacey followed Mabel home. Her apartment was small, cozy, filled with old books, floral curtains, and the smell of something sweet like ginger cookies and memories. The spare room had clean sheets, a quilt, and a little lamp that glowed soft yellow. Lacey cried herself to sleep, not from sadness, but from the kind of relief that takes over when you realize you're safe. The weeks that followed stitched Lacey's life back together piece by piece. She got a prepaid phone, set up a new email, started applying again, this time with an address to write down. And 3 weeks later, she was hired at a nearby bakery. Mabel helped her find a simple coat that actually fit. They took the bus together some mornings, chatting about everything and nothing. Lacey began saving. Slowly, quietly. Sometimes at night, they'd sit by the window with tea, watching the world go by. "I never asked," Lacey said one night. "What happened to you? The person who helped you?" Mabel smiled wistfully. "She was a nurse. I was 17 and pregnant, scared, broke, ashamed. That nurse gave me shelter, no judgment, just warmth. I never forgot that feeling." Lacey squeezed her hand. "I won't forget yours either." Months passed. Lacey didn't just survive, she began to live. She enrolled in night classes, took Mabel to the park on Sundays, cooked dinners with little sticky notes on the fridge. And one afternoon, while walking home, she saw a young girl sitting on the station bench, thin coat, trembling hands, eyes darting like a cornered deer. Lacey crossed the station without thinking. She sat beside her and offered a sandwich and tea. No judgment, just warmth. Because sometimes it only takes one person, one gentle voice, one act of kindness to change the direction of an entire life. Disclaimer: this story was created exclusively for the Kind Story YouTube channel. It is a unique and original work not copied from any other source. While AI tools may assist in formatting or narration, all stories are written by human creatives to reflect genuine emotion, kindness, and real-life inspired situations.